What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Uptempo Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Lane, here tonight with my co-host, DG. We're here to the regional rounds and everything that went down, and here to talk about some super regional weekend coming up this weekend. A lot of exciting games this past weekend, and a hell of a good weekend coming up. A lot of good matchups coming up this weekend, man. DG, I want to kick this thing off first with how are you doing tonight? How's your day been, man? What have you been up to?
Hey man, it's been good. Just kind of hanging out around the house. I just got done cleaning out a bunch of cabinets and rearranging dishes and stuff we got to go ahead and start making room for all the new stuff we're going to be getting. And once we start getting all of our gifts, started painting the kitchen today. So just kind of been working on house projects today, man. Just kind of chilling, doing the husband things.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I heard that. Man, long day of work, chilling, get home, play a little Xbox, a little MLB The Show, play with the kid and everything, and now here we are, man, getting ready to talk about some college baseball. DG, man, I want to ask you first. I want to ask you about your Florida Gators, man. What were your thoughts before we get into everything? What were your thoughts on your Florida Gators and the heartbreak, especially that Game 7 that it come down between them and Oklahoma?
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It was tough. I know I was at my parents' house and they made it 3-1 in the bottom of the seventh, and me and my fiance were there, and we were leaving to come back to our house, and I told my dad, "Hey, man, 6 more outs." And before I even got home, you text me, it was like, "Man, that's tough." And I was like, "Oh man, what happened?" I hopped on Twitter and I saw that Peyton Graham had a 3-run homer, and I was like, "Oh man." I was like, whatever. It is what it is. Got home, turned TV on. It's 5-3. I was like, damn, man, we're falling apart. And then I don't know. And then obviously Oklahoma was able to bring in their ace to get the last 6 outs of the game. We tried to make it interesting. Wyatt Langford hit a home run to ultimately tie the single season record at Florida. He had 25. He's tied the record with I think Matt Laporta, maybe from like 2004, 20 years ago. Man, it was a good weekend. It was very really high intensity baseball, stressful. Friday, we had a hell of a game. I think they went like 7-3, but it was a competitive 7-3. Brandon Sproat went out and threw a gem. At one point, they were trying to pull him out, and he was literally yelling at the dugout, "No, no!" And slowly walked out there, and Sproat was able to convince him to let him stay in. Stayed in, got the out. They went to the bullpen and finished it off. Then Saturday night, played Oklahoma the first time. Couldn't throw strikes, man. And when we did throw strikes, they didn't miss them. Got up on us pretty quick. I think they ultimately ended up being us 9-4. Kind of went through a lot of pitching that night. And then obviously had to turn back around Saturday or Sunday and play Central Michigan early. Beat Central Michigan 6-5 in 9 innings. Really good ball game again. And then anybody who follows college baseball or watched any college baseball this weekend saw the historic game Sunday night by a bullpen guy named Carson Finvold for Florida. Going into Sunday, he'd only thrown 9 innings all season, and he came in relief from the first inning with bases loaded, no outs, and literally got all 27 outs. I think he gave up like 4 hits, 2 runs, and the fastest pitch he threw the whole game was 83 miles an hour. Just dicing them up. And it was crazy, man, because these dudes are used to seeing 94, 95 and ripping it, and he was jamming them with a 79-mile-an-hour fastball. And it just goes to show, man, if you can spot your pitches, locate, you don't have to throw 105 miles an hour to beat somebody. So that was obviously a fun game to watch. And yesterday, game started like midday at 1 o'clock. We hopped up on 1-0. They tied it up 1-1. We scored a run like maybe seventh inning, make it 2-1, or sixth inning, I think. I can't remember. And then we had a lightning delay. And the lightning delay lasted from like, I don't know, 3:30 it seemed like to 7:45, 8 o'clock. So I mean, obviously, any momentum that they had kind of died off. Started back with Ryan Slater. He struck the first guy out, got out of the inning, we came back, scored a run, made it 3-1. It's like, oh hell, we're rolling. And then obviously he gave up the walk or whatever, and then Peyton Graham hit a 2-run bomb, make it 3-3. And we had people in the bullpen. Not really sure why Sully didn't make the change, but he didn't. He kind of stuck with Slater.
Yeah.
Ended up walking a guy, giving up another hit, and then they just obviously pieced together a couple good at bats to get 2 more runs, make it 5-3. And then we were at the bottom of the lineup, like 7, 8, 9 in the bottom of the eighth. Didn't get anything out of that, and then started the top of the bottom. They didn't score anything else in the ninth. We came up. Wyatt Langford, like I said, led off with a home run, made it 5-4, and then we just got 3 straight outs, man. And unfortunately, the season came to an end. It was a fun season. I mean, it was stressful a lot. Like we talked about last week, Florida struggled early, got hot late. Did what they had to do to obviously host. Probably one of the tougher regionals. A lot of people thought Oklahoma could have been a host. So it was, not an easy draw. I mean, I think Oklahoma was a really good baseball team. They hit the ball well. They got good pitching. I think for the majority of their lineup was batting over 300 or close to it.
Yeah.
So really good hitting team. I mean, obviously it sucks to see your team lose, but man, we didn't lose because we played bad. Like we played well. Sure, could have had some bigger hits and bigger situations that we didn't get. Could have made some pitches when we could have made them, but that's baseball. Overall, not too disappointed, I guess. Young team, is a lot. I've heard a lot this weekend about how college baseball is older this year than it's been in a while, just because of the extra year because of COVID and the MLB draft not being as big or many rounds. So a lot of guys came back for 4th, 5th years. Some guys 6. So I mean, Florida had 2 freshmen in their starting lineup. The guy who started yesterday's game, Brandon Neely, is a freshman. Ryan Slater, who pitched last night, is a freshman. The guy who came after him, Fisher Jameson's a freshman. So Florida, while yes, they have some older guys in their lineup, the majority of the guys, or a lot of the guys who contributed a lot here down the stretch were young. Like Wyatt Langford, sophomore. Last year he only had 4 at bats as a freshman. He was a catcher, and now he plays left field and batted 370 with 25 bombs in a leadoff spot. So
crazy.
He'll be back. And then we got Jack Caglione, who was going to be a stud, man. I didn't realize how highly touted he was in high school. I looked him up yesterday on Perfect Game, and he was a 33rd ranked player in the country coming out of high school last year. He was the number 1 left-handed pitcher in the state of Florida, which obviously, man, there's so much talent in Florida in high school that. But he had Tommy John right towards the end of his high school career, so he didn't get drafted as early as he would have wanted to. Ended up coming to Florida. We were going to redshirt him until like a month ago, and he started just raking. He'll be back. They're saying he's going to obviously hit, but also probably be in the starting rotation. So might have like a Shohei Ohtani type guy for us.
Yeah.
Ty Evans was our right fielder towards the end of the year as a freshman. Third baseman Colby Halter will be back. Sterling Thompson, he's a draft eligible sophomore. I think he'll probably get drafted pretty high, so I doubt he's back. We're losing some key pieces, but at the same time, we're bringing back a lot. And then, I mean, Florida's one of the premier schools when it comes to recruiting every year. So we're going to bring in some elite talent. So, like I said, man, disappointing, seeing the season come to an end. It's especially as fun as this weekend was with all the college baseball games. It's been really, really cool to see Florida at least make it to next weekend and, have a rooting interest next week. But I mean, now I just get to sit back and enjoy some really good baseball. So not too bad. Like I said, it was, again, disappointing, but at the same time, it is what it is. I woke up yesterday. I woke up this morning. My life wasn't affected at all. So it is what it is.
Yeah, they're college kids, man. But DG, man, you can always hop on that Auburn Tiger bandwagon, brother. We will take you.
Man, what sucks is I texted you guys the other night. And I was like, man, if Florida happens to get beat out, I'm gonna hitch my trailer to Oklahoma State because they were so much fun to watch. And then damn if Arkansas don't come out and beat them last night. So I think
Uh,
I think my new team. I think if I'm going, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't mind Auburn making a little run, just because obviously I'm friends with you guys and they're the SEC and they're a good team. But I think as far as somebody who like I haven't watched a whole lot of until this last weekend, I think the team I might hitch my wagon to for the rest of it, other than pulling for the SEC and Auburn, and I think I'm going to roll with the East Carolina Pirates. Man, they're a fun team to watch too. So
yeah, I saw that one coming. I saw that one coming. I knew what you were about to say, and you know, I'm right there with you with East Carolina, bro. I hope they pound Texas.
yeah, man, I'm so
But
tired. Yeah, we'll get into that in a few minutes.
yeah. We'll talk about it. Man, DG, the regional weekend, man, like Auburn. Nobody. I felt like nobody gave us a chance, man. And I want to. I was talking about it on live last night. I went live on YouTube the past 2 nights, man, and I was just telling some of the people on there, like, I just felt like nobody gave us a chance because we went into the regionals and you know we went up to Lexington. They took 2 or 3 from us. Then we rematched them in Hoover in the SEC tournament, and they beat us there. And we couldn't hit the last 2 weekends of the season,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, we were limping into the regional weekend. And we were lucky to host. A lot of people said that, hey, they don't deserve to host. And we get the number 14 overall seed, and then we look up and you got Southeastern Louisiana, who won 30 baseball games in the regular season. They beat Arkansas and Ole Miss, and I mean a couple other teams in the regular season, man. So they had some quality wins on their resume, and then you get two, rich tradition powerhouses with UCLA and Florida State in your regional. So
Yeah,
I'm sitting there, man, and I'm like, we're limping in, and our backs are against the wall. What are we going to do? Are we going to come out and hit the baseball like I know we can, or are we just going to walk in here and just get, drummed? And I feel like Auburn sat back for a whole week, and you actually said this to me and D Lane. You said, I think y'all losing early in the SEC tournament, you might benefit from that and getting a little
yeah,
rest. And I think Auburn got to hear a little bit of the noise, man, a little bit of that media noise, and they got to watch all these analysts and media guys and these beat writers pick against them. And you look at all the graphics and everything, and it was UCLA, Florida State, UCLA, Florida State, Florida
yeah,
State. And I think like one person, man, Kendall Rogers was the only person to pick Auburn that I saw.
yeah,
It was the
yeah,
only person to pick Auburn. And they come out and they score 51 runs in 3 games, dude. And
yeah,
all I heard from everybody was Florida State's pitching is just going to run through this regional. And the only team that can hang with Florida State is UCLA. And Auburn made it look like T-ball games. Like it wasn't
yeah.
competitive. At no point was any game competitive.
Nope.
And Sonny DeShera and Blake Rambush and all those cats, man. Brody Moore, just our senior shortstop. I've mentioned him multiple times in lives on YouTube and previous episodes. Man, he just plays the game in just the right way, how you're supposed to play it. And they just stepped up, man. And the pitching was phenomenal. And I want to ask you, man, because I know you didn't watch a whole lot of Auburn this weekend, but we did watch some. And if Auburn's pitching is this good, like we saw this past weekend, and I know UCLA and Florida State are not great offensively, okay?
Yeah,
Uh, that was one of the things that like people asked me. They were like, "Man, are you worried about this regional?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of worried about their pitching, but I'm not really worried offensively. Like nobody in their regional scared me offensively." But I wanted to ask you,
yeah.
man, like if you see this Auburn pitching, could they make a run and could they get out of the super regionals? Could they make a run to Omaha if you get this Auburn team that we saw this past weekend?
Oh yeah, man. You score 51 runs. I mean, your pitching can be bad, and you're gonna
Yeah.
you should make a regional or a super no Omaha run. But um, I mean, I'll be real honest with you. I don't see him going to Oregon State and scoring 51 runs in 3 games. Oregon State's pitching staff is, always towards the top. I know obviously we don't see them as much because they're on the West Coast, but I mean they got. I got their stuff pulled up real quick. I think their ace's name is Cooper Herjerp. I guess you'd say it. I'm not even sure how you say his last name. It's got a weird spelling, but
Yeah.
I mean he's got a 2.4 ERA, 10-2 on the season. Man, like he's a dog. I mean he's got 155 strikeouts to 21 walks. That's elite. Yeah, I mean that's who you're facing. Saturday night at 9:00. So I mean the pitching that you're going to face is I think going to be a little bit better than what you saw this weekend. Obviously we knew Florida State had the names. The Florida State's guys, man, for the most part this year didn't perform like people thought they were going to. Again, on paper they should have been way better than they ended up being. I mean, at one point in the season they were a top 7-8 team, and then they ended up being a 3 seed in a regional, or 2 seed or whatever they may have ended up being. But whatever, I can't remember what their ace name was, but I mean he was coming to the season. Yeah, I mean coming to the season, I think he was like the preseason ACC pitcher of the year. I mean he had all the accolades, preseason All-American, all this stuff coming into the year, and then obviously he didn't, have the season they were expecting him. I mean Florida State didn't hit the ball nearly as good as people thought they were going to. I mean they got that transfer from Miami, Alex Terrell, and he batted like 212. I mean dude batted. He was a career 320 hitter at Miami and hit bombs for Miami. And then he comes to Florida State and he struggled all season. I mean, he was their eighth hole hitter. When at Miami last 3 years, he was a 3 or 4 hole hitter. So, I mean, I think people on paper overhyped the teams at Auburn's regional. By no means am I saying Auburn didn't. I mean, Auburn played lights out. It wasn't like they scored 51 runs and, Florida State, UCLA, and whoever the heck else was in the regional made, 15 errors, all together. Auburn just straight up hit. I mean, like they had 10 runs in the first inning of game 1. I mean, like and it wasn't a lot of errors. I mean, it was 3 or 4 home runs. I mean, like you got to hit the ball to score 51 runs. Like, yeah, sure, there's probably some errors, probably some walks, some things like that. That's like we talked about. That's baseball. But yeah, dude. I mean, if Auburn's pitching is even halfway decent, I think they got a good shot at beating Oregon State. I mean, especially the fact that this weekend was not a taxing weekend. They came in stress free. I mean, yesterday was the closest game. You won 11-4.
Yeah.
I mean, like those are the kind of weekends you need. Like we talked about last week. They had sure. Did they do as well in Hoover as they would like to? No. I mean, you got beat out game 1 by Kentucky, who wasn't a really good team. But like we said, you got a week and a half off. You got to go home. You got to sit back, relax. You knew you were in the tournament. Obviously, you end up hosting, which is a huge plus. And then, like you said, all week, man, all they heard was, "Oh man, UCLA is coming from the West Coast, Florida State. They got all this pitching." And but like these dudes are 18, 19, 20, 22 years old. Like that's gonna fire you up. That fires me up, and I'm not even an Auburn fan or a baseball player. Like.
Yeah, man.
Like as a competitor, you hear other people doubting you. Like especially as a national, a top 16 seed. Like they were like, oh, Auburn should be a top 16 seed. They're getting sent home week 1. Like, hey, you know what? We're gonna come out here and we're gonna prove y'all wrong. We're gonna show y'all why we're, the seed that we were given. We're gonna show you why, we're a good enough team to make it on Omaha. And then obviously, I saw all your stuff last night, man. Like the fact that your coach comes out and says, "Man, we're an Auburn Tigers, and it's no longer okay just." To get to Omaha. Like our goal is a national championship or bust. Like if that don't fire you up as a player, like it's like to know that your boss, your coach is going out there and saying that kind of stuff, and he's holding you to that expectation. Say, hey man, like yeah, we're Auburn, and maybe we haven't been known as a baseball powerhouse. We're not known as a baseball school, but you know what? Damn, we've put out some big time players the last couple of years. We've made some really good runs. Like the hell with just getting to super regional. The hell with just being okay with being the 14th overall seed. Like, no, we're trying to get to Omaha. We're trying to win this on the gun. Like, that's our goal now, and that's what we, that's that bulletin board material. You put down the bulletin board. Hey, Omaha, that's your goal. You don't put nothing else. Like, who gives a damn? If you win Hoover, like, sure, it looks good on a resume. If you win Hoover, guess what? That doesn't mean you're going to win championship.
That's a fact.
So, you show up, you're ready to rock and roll. You turn the lights on when it's ready to roll. And that's what they done. Last week they showed up, they showed out 3 games. Now they get a whole week to get ready. Probably get said they're not going to be, Oregon State, the big Pac-12 studs. They got these super good pitching. You got to go to the West Coast. Auburn's not going to be ready for the environment. Man, the hell with the environment. You play in Alex Box Stadium. You play in Tennessee. You play in Oxford. You play Auburn. It wasn't like y'all had some lousy ass crowd.
It's a fact.
I can assure you, Oregon State's crowd is not going to be anything Auburn players haven't seen before. So
exactly.
Again, they're going to hear all week, oh, man, they're not good enough to beat Oregon State. Last week, they just got hot at the right time. Well, damn right they got hot at the right time. That's what you got to do right now. So I'm not going to give away who I'm going to pick for that regional, but I think Auburn's got just as good a shot as any of the teams left to make a damn good run and try to win this thing.
Yeah, man. And I was on live last night, and I was talking with one of our subscribers, Santiago. He's a big Texas A&M fan. And I was telling him, he was like, how do you feel about the matchup with Oregon State? And I said, well, here's my thing, okay? We went to Texas A&M, okay? We went to Bluebell Park, one of the most hostile environments in college baseball. Bro, playing at Texas A&M, they have the bubbles, the ball 8 chant. They pack it out. It's like Kyle Field on Saturdays, bro. They don't sit down the entire time. They're all standing, bubble machines going crazy. It's a legitimate atmosphere, and you're probably not going to see anything else like it in any other conference, right? So we went there. We took 2 out of 3 from them, all right? After they lost to Auburn, that series to Auburn, they didn't lose another series in the SEC. They didn't lose another series, all right? So we beat them. You got Arkansas at home, all right? That was a packed series. All right, that broke an attendance record at home. All right, you went to Knoxville, you played Tennessee, you went to a rubber match on Sunday, and it went to the 8th inning, 3-3, and Tennessee hit a 2-run bomb to beat us 5-3. So you had to deal with that atmosphere. All right, and all these games, you went to a rubber match with Arkansas, Tennessee, A&M. All right. LSU, I know they lost 2 heartbreakers to Southern Miss. They got 2 scooped and everything. But you went to Alex Box Stadium. We all know Alex Box is a premier, rich, historic program down there, and that stadium is second to none. And so going up to Corvallis, everybody's like, man, how do you feel about going up there? I'm like, man, I couldn't care less because I don't think Auburn cares. And Butch Thompson, he doesn't care. Because he's like, hey, I don't know if y'all know, but in 2019, we went to Chapel Hill, and North Carolina was a national seed, and they were like, hey, we're just going to beat the piss out of you, all right? We're going to score 11 runs on you in the first inning and send you home, okay?
Yeah.
And that was on the road, all right? And even though Oregon State's the number 3 national seed, they were just in a slugfest with UCLA a week and a half ago that ended up 25-22 with UCLA. So I'm sitting here and I'm kind of like, man, they're 25-22 with UCLA. Auburn's going to have a chance. All right. Auburn's going to have, if they're over here battling it out 25-22 with UCLA, Auburn's going to have a shot, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially if that team shows up, if that Auburn team shows up, man, I just I don't know. I don't know if we're walking out of there not going to Omaha. I think this Auburn team's caught fire. I'm not going to tell you who I'm picking yet. But talking about Butch Thompson, man, what he said on that podium after the game. Well, I talked about it in the podcast episode that I released yesterday. Is I got chills when he said that, because have we been to Omaha? Yeah, we've been to Omaha. Are we a rich, historic baseball powerhouse program? No, we're not. Okay. But have we started putting absolute studs into the major leagues? Of course. We're putting dogs in the minor leagues and major leagues.
Yeah.
And you look at 2018, we were at Gainesville at your Gators, and ball tips off our right fielder's glove, goes over the wall, and we lose to Florida in the Supers, and they go to Omaha, and heartbreak. All right, you come back in 2019, and we all know how good Florida was that year. You come back in 2019, and you make a run to Omaha, and you go 0-2. You get out there in the first game, you got Mississippi State beat in the first game, and Julian, our third baseman at the time, he makes a throwing error, and we lose. They come back and beat us, and we end up losing that game. And then I think we lost to Louisville and went 0-2, and it was just heartbreak, man. More heartbreak. And then you fast forward, 20 was the COVID year, and then last year we had a bad year, and then this year. So you're in a super regional for three years out of the last 5, really out of the last 4, because 2020 wasn't a year.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah. So like 3 super regional trips out of the last 4 baseball seasons that we've been allowed to have. And I'm kind of to the point now where, like, in 2019, I was like, hey, my team made it to Omaha. All right. Like, I'm sticking my chest out like, hey, we made it to Omaha, bro. Like, you can't say nothing to me like your team didn't, And I heard him say that yesterday, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, if we go to Oregon State and we beat Oregon State, like, I'm no longer going into Omaha saying, yeah, we made it. I'm going into Omaha saying we're going to win it. And if we don't win it, like,
it's a disappointment.
It's a disappointment. Like, I'm going to wake up and be like, man, I'm always going to think back to this team and be like, this is probably one of the best Auburn baseball teams that we've ever had, and we didn't win the College World Series. So, and I, the comment that we got on YouTube saying that you would take Tony Vitello over Butch Thompson, the guy, he said, we
hate him because we hate him.
And, I wouldn't take Tony Vitello over Butch. I wouldn't. I'll go on record and say that I honestly wouldn't. Like, Butch, he does it the right way, and I'm a huge Butch fan. And what he's done, like, at Auburn, because we were down bad, bro. Like, we were down bad. We were not a good baseball program for a stretch. All right, we had Sonny Galloway at one point. It was just bad. It was rough. And it was bad. And I remember us being absolutely terrible for a long period of time there in the tens leading up to when Butch come on. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited about Auburn. I'm excited about these super regionals, the historic regional games, bro. Like, I mean, what were some of the games and some of the regionals that stuck out to you from this past weekend?
Oh man, I mean, I think if you watch any college baseball at all this weekend, the regional that stood out the most had to be the Stillwater with Oklahoma State, Arkansas. I mean, Oklahoma State Saturday alone or Sunday alone scored like 43 runs or something crazy like that in a 2-game span. I mean, we were texting each other midday Sunday like, damn, hey, Oklahoma State's done. They're down 12-0 in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
And damn, they don't come back and win 29-14. It's like, man, like, it's wild. Me and my dad last night were watching the UConn and Maryland game, and it was like, it was 9-0. And Maryland scored like 3 runs, and all of a sudden the crowd starts to kind of get back into it. Pitcher can't throw a strike, so they're getting him louder, and then the dude hits a routine line drive right to the right fielder, and the dude misses the ball. He scored 2 more runs. That was 9-5. It's like, man, like, we talked about last week, home field advantage don't mean a ton of baseball, but it's like, when you have an atmosphere like a school that shows up, a fan base that shows up, shows out, it does make a difference, man. Like,
yeah,
because like when you're a pitcher, man, you're right out there on that mound. You're the only, like, it's just you and the ball and the catcher. And I mean, you got to make it. If you can't throw a strike, you got to make an adjustment. If you don't make an adjustment, guess what? The coach will come get you, and then whoever's coming after you is going to get just as much hell as they're getting from the crowd. So I mean, it's wild. Like, typically you watch a baseball game, it's 7-0 in the 3rd inning. Like, you're probably not going to watch the rest of it because, I mean, it's usually over, especially if you're watching big league games, man. Because, like, obviously those pitchers are, just about nailed. If they get an 8-run lead, they're going to, 85% of the time probably shut it down at least 6-7 innings. These college guys, man, like, especially in super regionals, you're having to play 3, 4, 5 games depending on if you lose or win. Like you get into these games, it's 9-0 the first inning, and damn near it's 11-9 after the second inning. Because it's like these teams are they're throwing guys that have thrown 5, 6 innings all season, or just guys that are young that haven't been in those situations before, man. And I think when I saw there were so many home runs hit this weekend, man, it was like every single time there was a home run, like it was always a momentum home run. Like a team would be up, 2-1, dude hit a grand slam or a 3-run bomb. It's like, hey, now the whole freaking stadium's on fire. I mean, like I know we obviously last we talked about how some of the antics of Tennessee, man, but the other night they were playing. I guess it was Saturday's game. They were playing Campbell. It was a damn good game. It was like 4-3. It might have been 4-4 at the time. They come up. Drew Gilbert, his absolute nuke job. And it's like, sure, we talked about last week, like some of their antics is a bit much, man. But dude, like when it's 4-4 in a freaking regional game against a really good Campbell team, and you're the number one seed, and you hit one to the parking lot, like, hey, you look, big dog, you walk down that line and throw that bat as high as you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like the guy commented last week saying, like, we would love to have Tony Vitello. Like, yeah, he's a damn good coach. I mean, Tennessee was ass 5 years ago before he got there, and they've been a really good club since he's been there. But it's like, like we said last week, we don't hate the antics. Like I love the fur coat and the daddy hat and the pimping the home runs and the their little celebration they do on second base. But like to an extent, it's like some of this, like other night against Georgia Tech, Jordan Beck smokes one over center for his head, rounds first base, and he's flipping the guy off, man. Like that doesn't have what does that have to do with baseball? Like that's talk smack, sure, but like throwing the bird while you're running on first base, like to me, I don't get like what that does. And it's like me and my dad talked about it the other day. It's like when you see Vanderbilt teams like that win, or when like Florida won a national championship, or like Arkansas, Mississippi State, these teams that are used to winning, like you didn't see that. You saw guys hit home runs. If they celebrated, it was with their team. It didn't show up the other guys unless something previously happened in the game. Like the other night, Arkansas, for example, old dude for Oklahoma State hit one out of the stadium, and then like
Rock Reggio.
Yeah, that dude, hey, might be my favorite player of all time, but he hit one to the moon and it did the Jack Sparrow run or sprint around the base.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was at the time. Well, then Oklahoma State's pitcher can't throw a strike and ends up walking a couple runs in, and then Jordan Battle comes up, and we were watching together, and he hit that ball to the freaking moon to hit a grand slam to take the lead. And Jordan Battle, he obviously hypes his team up, but he doesn't. He runs the bases and doesn't say a word to Rock Riggio. He just stares him down as he runs. And like to me, that shows like, hey, like these guys are used to this. These guys are used to this situation. And by no means, man, like Tennessee's fun to watch. It's fun to watch because like they're the definition of like pass the torch. Like I've never seen a baseball team where like they need a hit, a guy gets a hit, and it's like it don't stop. It's like 4 or 5 guys in a row, and they're barreling balls up, man. Like they don't get cheap hits. Like we were watching today, and we were talking about how like when they hit it, it sounds like they hit it. It ain't like they capped it or they got jammed or they missed the sweet spot. No, they hit the sweet spot every time. But it's like celebrate, flip the bat, do your daddy coat, do your your swaggy coat or whatever you do your celebrations. But like you flip the birds and all that kind of stuff. Like to an extent, like that, there's no reason for that. I mean, hey, I'm all about you showing emotion. Like I love it. Like I had guys on the middle school team that would do stuff that when we get doubles or triples, and I'd be getting hyped. Like I love it. That's but like we said, there's always a point. Like don't cross that line, especially if something like that like has nothing to do with the game. Like I don't know. Obviously, maybe there was something said, but even then, like get to second base, turn around, and then jaw jack with him. Don't flip him the bird as you're running the bases. Like, and obviously, like it's made t-shirts about it now. Like Tennessee fans will be wearing t-shirts this weekend in Knoxville for it. But man, and about like I said, hey, to each their own. Do what you want to do. But it's like they're a hell of a baseball club at 56-7. Like, but I don't get how why act like the point is like they've never been there. They don't know. Like that guy made a comment last week. Like we hate them because we're not them. Like we're not Tennessee. Like man, I don't hate Tennessee at all because the last time I checked, Florida's got a national championship, and the last time I checked, unless something changed, Tennessee ain't won shit in baseball. Like whoop-de-doo, you won the SEC regular season. You won Hoover this year. Like, congratulations. You still ain't won once in Omaha. hey, if you win it this year, congratulations. But you still got some games to win. You still got what
Right.
seven baseball games left. Like, I don't hate you because my team's been there and done that. Your team hasn't been there and hasn't done that. So, you know, sure, am I jealous? I wish my team was as good as your team this year. Well, hell yeah. I mean, I love my team when they're winning, but I don't see how you can talk smack when your team ain't won the ultimate goal. Like, yeah, whoop de doo, man. You went 56-7. If you get beat this weekend, hey, guess what? No one remembers Tennessee. No one gives a rat's ass about you because guess what? You're just another number one seed who didn't win a national championship.
Yeah.
So I don't know what got me on this little rant, but I'm glad I'm done with it now.
A girl I follow on Twitter, man, she's a podcaster for Tennessee, and she like put on Twitter a while ago, Tennessee and Auburn in the College World Series final, best 2 out of 3, and I put on there, please let Auburn be the team to ruin it for them, please, okay, please, all right. But
I mean, like real quick, I'll get off my rant.
no,
Like,
good.
For example, they're 56-7 or whatever they are. Who won the NBA championship in 2019 or 2018, whatever year it was?
Was it the Warriors or the Raptors
or whatever year before KD got there, whatever year that was.
Before
who won the championship? The year before KD came to the Warriors, who won it?
The Warriors.
No, they didn't.
Or the Cavs.
The Cavs beat them, but what was the Warriors' record?
Oh, yeah.
But guess what?
Yeah.
No one gives a rat's ass about that anymore. Because guess what? You didn't win the championship. Who cares how good the regular season? Look at everybody. Like, I mean, I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. You guys know that. Like, especially you all give me shit about all the time. The dude's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He has 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, he can't get it done.
He doesn't get done when it matters the most. So it's like, and obviously Tennessee went and did what they had to do this weekend. They swept. They went 3-0. But I promise you can ask any Tennessee fan. They were a little uncomfortable. That Campbell game a couple times. The Campbell game, they were a little uncomfortable. Other night against Georgia Tech, they were a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If Georgia Tech, if that pitcher had to come out of the game, they were going to lose that ball game. Which again, that's why Tennessee is so good because they bounce. They're never out of the game. It could be 7-0, and they can hit, so they're going to catch up.
Yeah.
But it's like hit, get your team hype, get your crowd hype, and then let that be it. Like, don't be jaw jacking to the other team. I mean, I don't care if you jaw jack, but like again, the flipping the bird thing. I just that's one thing. Like something like especially as a coach. Obviously, I coach middle school, but it's like I don't see how as a coach you see that from one of your star players. I mean, Jordan Beck's one of their best players.
Yeah,
like the dude's a top 45 probably draft prospect. Like the dude's going to get drafted in the first, second round. How do you see that as a coach? And like, man, that's cool. Like that's awesome. I promise you, when he goes into his draft interview, he's getting ready for the draft in 2 weeks. They're a GM or somebody's gonna see that. Hey, bro, like that shit don't fly here, big dog. Like you flip somebody to bird in the minor leagues, you go come to the next bat, you're gonna get beamed with 97 in the dome. Like,
that's a fact.
I mean, like I hate to say that because I mean obviously that's a dangerous thing to happen, but like, bro, baseball is a game like that, man. Like you hit, like you do stupid shit, like you get stupid shit, you get stupid consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a fact.
Somebody does it. You do some dumb crap like flipping somebody off. Hey, guess what? Next time you come at the plate, you're getting ear-holed. Or you're getting hit square in the back with not no curveball either. So, and obviously college is a little different. Like that kind of stuff don't happen as much as suspensions in college is obviously a lot different than pro baseball. And if you get suspended for 5 games in the pros, what you do? You miss 5 out of 162.
Yeah.
You get suspended right now in college baseball, you're pretty much ruining your season for your team, especially if you're a big time player. But again, like I said, they're fun to watch. They're super exciting. I mean, like it's a fun brand of baseball. Like the swag they bring, the energy they bring. Because I mean, the whole city of Knoxville's in that bitch. Like they're all rocking, they're all rolling. I mean, like they hit home runs, and I swear to God, they don't hit cheapies. When they hit them, they're out of there. They're not wall scrapers. So it's fun. I mean, like you love to see that, especially as a big time baseball fan. Like that's the kind of stuff you need to grow the game because young kids see that stuff. Like they see guys flipping bats and wearing a little Gucci mink outfit and wearing the hat, like doing the celebrations. And like I said, I have middle schoolers who do the same stuff. They do the cool celebrations second base because that stuff gets passed down. But it's like, okay, well then now they see this dude running around first base flipping center fielder. And it's like, oh well, guess we could probably do the same thing. He's like, nah, man, like, and that's the part I don't understand. Is like, I again, hey, talk your smack, do what you gotta do. But that's the part where it's like the guy saying, we wish we had Tony Vitello. Nah, man, I don't, because I know for a fact that Tim Corbin at Vanderbilt, Kevin O'Sullivan at Florida, the guy from Arkansas's name's escaping right now, but him,
Van Horn,
Van Horn, Butch Thompson, they don't put up like Schwarzenegger at Texas A&M. Like, you don't see that crap from them. Like, and I don't understand like why all of a sudden like Tennessee fans think that's cool. Like, that's not baseball. Yeah. That's the kind of shit that makes people not want to even root for you at all. Like
well, that's the thing, DG. That's the thing is like, I've never seen a fan base, bro. Like, they act like they've already won it. Like,
yeah,
honestly, like they seriously act like they've already won the national championship. Like, I was on Twitter today reading stuff, and they were just like, "Yup, like we're Omaha bound. Like it's a wrap, bro. Like we've won that thing. Like we've wrapped it up." And I'm like, "Oh, you got to beat this Notre Dame squad. Like don't look past Notre Dame. Like they got some dudes over there."
And then if you win that series, you match it with Texas or East Carolina. Texas was like everyone's preseason national champion pick. Like they were the best team the college baseball had ever seen 4 months ago. And then East Carolina, like I just said a few minutes ago, they hit that son of a gun. They're a good baseball. It's like you got to beat a really good Notre Dame team, and then you also got to go in and then beat either a really good Texas or East Carolina, and then like obviously the rest of your bracket's not. You got Texas A&M's going to be on your side, or Louisville, and then you got Virginia Tech or Oklahoma. Like they're on a stack. Now that it's into super regionals, we see how loaded that side is. Especially like we hadn't seen like me and you talked about last week. We had never really watched Louisville. They can hit.
Yeah.
East Carolina, they can hit. Virginia Tech, they can hit. Oklahoma, they can hit. Like these are teams that they're going to show up to play Tennessee, and they're not going to be scared. Well, you know what? They're going to score 9. Well, we can score 11. Like these people, like, and like I said, like earlier, like the guy saying whatever he said about wanting to be them. It's like, man, like again, we've won that championship. Florida's won that championship. They like as a fan, I've experienced that. Last time I checked, obviously I don't know how old this guy is that's making this comment, but the last time I checked, Tennessee ain't won a national championship in a major 3 sports since like 1998 or 1997. Yeah. Well, I've seen Florida win a national championship every sport they got. So, I don't hate Tennessee at all because y'all aren't as good as us. Like in any sport, like what do you beat us in baseball this year? You had a good season. Okay, well, it's like you said, they're kind of getting to that point where it's like we obviously live in Alabama. We deal with Alabama fans all the time. But going into a football season, man, Alabama has every right in the world to be like, hey, you know what? We're already going to book our tickets to Atlanta because ain't nobody beat us in the last 5 years. Like, we've been there every year but one. It's like, hey, they've earned that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as we hate them, they've earned the right to, in August, go ahead and buy their tickets to the college football playoffs because they're probably going to be there. Tennessee ain't won nothing to be like, oh, man, we're already Omaha bound. I got my tickets to the World Series and my hotel booked. Like, sure, maybe you go ahead and reserve it just in case, but you're not a shoe-in. Like, you're not a perennial powerhouse. Like, you've had 2 good seasons in a row. Like, you're not Vanderbilt. You're not LSU. You're not Oregon State. I mean, like, as much as Oregon State won 2 back-to-back national championships in 05-06, and then they won again in, like, 2013. Like, they're a team that gets there a lot.
Yeah, those Ronnie teams were filthy.
Man. They won it that year. The couple years ago, they played Arkansas. Like, Arkansas should have beat them, but Oregon State ended up beating them anyways. Like, so again, fun brand of baseball. It's exciting to watch, hitting home runs, flipping the bats, doing all their fun stuff. Like, you got dudes, freshmen coming out of the bullpen throwing 100. Like, they got studs on top of studs, but it's like you haven't earned the right to be as cocky as you have. Like, you're 56-7, whoop-de-doo. You had the best record ever in SEC in the regular season. You won at Hoover, but the last time I checked, winning at Hoover don't correlate to a national championship. The year Florida won the national championship 2017, we got beat 17-2 in the semifinals in Hoover. Guess what? Still won the national championship.
Yep.
And by no means I said it last week, I think Tennessee is the best team in baseball. It wouldn't shock me if they didn't lose a game the entire postseason. I said that last week, and I still believe that. But the fact that, like we said, their fans have gotten to be like, oh, man, we're so much better than everybody else. Oh, we're going to win this and that. Like, we're already – we're a shoe-in for the national championship. Like, no, because there's 15 other teams that are the same spot you are. They still got to win just as many games, and you got to beat them too. So, again, super excited. I'm ready to kind of break down each regional and get our super regional, get into it. But just had to get that off my chest about Tennessee. They're all of a sudden obnoxious fans.
We got the same thoughts, bro. Because like I was going over on the YouTube live last night, and I was saying the same thing. Just how I just read the stuff on social media, and I'm just like, ugh, it's like it's got me to the point where I just honestly hope you get beat. I hope you get beat. But we talked a little bit about who they would match up with if they do make it to Omaha. We know who they do match up with this weekend, and that is Notre Dame. And we're going to talk about this first little quad right here with Tennessee and Notre Dame, and then we're going to talk about Texas and ECU. But first,
Okay.
Tennessee and Notre Dame. I know you. I mean, I can tell who you're going to pick because you kind of mentioned it right there that you didn't think that they were going to lose a single game. But do you think that Notre Dame has a chance? Could it go to a game 3? I know Notre Dame's got some studs. Man, let me hear it. Let me hear it, DG.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, going into last week, I'd never even obviously watched a whole lot of Notre Dame. I didn't pick them to win the regional. I picked Texas Tech. Notre Dame went in. I don't even know if Notre Dame lost the game. They might have gone in and swept the weekend. I can't remember, but they're good. They got a good team.
They did lose a game.
Yeah.
Did Texas Tech didn't force a? Yeah, they didn't lose a game.
Okay, and all the games are close. I mean, like, granted, they don't go out and blow people out or anything, but they're good. I mean, like, it's to the point now, man. Like, you don't get the super regionals because you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, you made a tournament because you're good. You get the super regionals because you're a good ball club. So, like, they're obviously doing the right things. I mean, they're 38-14. Let me see if they swept the game. They won 3. Now all their games are close. They won 3-2, 6-4, and 2-1.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that just shows right there that they can win a close ball game. And then you look at their schedule; they've beaten people, 14-5. They've beaten people 8-1. Like, they can score when they have to, but they, when they don't have to, they don't. They beat a Wake Forest team, who me and you both picked to win the College Park Regional. They swept Wake Forest. They beat them 8-3, 21-3, and 13-12. So obviously they're going to score runs, or they can score runs. They're capable of scoring runs.
And they
I think
they can finish, bro.
Yeah, they got a good staff. Like, I mean, like, which you have to have this time of the year. It's like, people think, we're their ace. His name is John Bertrand. He's 9-2 with a 2.27 ERA.
Yes,
that's good stuff. 103 strikeouts to 19 walks.
Yes,
he's given up 5 home runs all season. Well, hey, you're going in the face of one of the best teams in college baseball. So,
bro, he held that Texas Tech offense to 1 run.
Yeah, they have one of the top players in college baseball that's going to get drafted in the top 10 in 3 weeks. Like, I mean, like, he's a hell of a pitcher. They were another team that a lot of people thought were going to host a super or host a regional and be their own host site. And then it's like these dudes ain't bad. They got a guy named Jack Finley, 5-2, 2.11, 2.1 ERA. Like, they have a good good rotation.
It's a fact, man.
So you asked me, do I think they can beat Tennessee? Sure. I mean, they could sneak one, but man, I honestly, until this weekend, I guess because I just obviously sat down and watched as much baseball as I did, I did not realize how stacked Tennessee's pitching staff is, man. Like, they have Chase Dollander, SEC Pitcher of the Year. Then you got, I think the guy name's Hunter Beam or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or what's his name? It's not Hunter Beam. What is his name? Something like that. He's a freaking freshman of the year. Drew Beam.
Yeah.
Drew Beam. Like I said, the only freshman I knew that had as a pitcher was Chase Burns. Well, apparently this Drew Beam guy's better. He won SEC freshman pitcher of the year. He was a freshman of the year in the conference. I mean, he went 8-1. Chase Burns went 8-1. Then you got freaking Chase Dollander 9-0. Then you got Blade Tidwell 3-1. They have 4 legit Friday night guys on the same staff.
Beam's got a 2.72 ERA.
Yeah, and then Chase Burns has a 2.69, and then you have Dollander 2.38. Then you have Blade Tidwell 2.0. Like,
they're out there like the Yankees, bro.
That's an elite staff. And then the Kirby Connell guy, stud.
Yeah.
That's what I think has been so impressive, man. Is like the fact that you think Tennessee and you think the pimping the home runs, you think the jacket, you think the daddy hat, you think Drew Gilbert, Jordan Beck, Trey Lipscomb. But, man, their pitching staff is so damn good. Like, they can beat people any which way they got to. They can outscore you, score 15 runs, or they can beat you 1-0. Like, Friday night, you're going to get probably Chase Dollander, I would assume. Okay? So he goes Friday. Then you got 3 more aces you can pick from. All right, well, hey, look, we're going to start with Bladen Tidwell. He struggles, or, he goes 3-4 innings. All right, guess what? Now we're going to bring in Chase Burns. He's going to finish it out. All right, well, maybe he struggles. All right, well, now we'll go Kirby Connell. Oh, he didn't have a good game. Oh, now we'll bring in Ben Joyce on 105. Yeah. And then if it just so happens to get to a game 3, like they did this weekend, like most teams, man, like in any college baseball season, like or series, your Friday night, Saturday guys are usually your top 2, and then Sunday is just like a hope and a prayer. Like if you got a guy that can give you four solid innings and then just bullpen the rest of the way, you're chilling. They got 4 dudes that can go 7+ innings every single time they step on the mound. Like Chase Burns was a starting pitcher for the majority of the year, and now he's coming out of the bullpen just because they don't really need him to be a starter right now. Like you got the stuff. We're just going to use you in spots. We get 5 innings from Dollander or Tidwell. Guess what? Hey, Chase Burns, you come in and finish the game. He's not a normal reliever, man. Like you got a guy that's a starter coming out of the pen that can give you 5+ innings if needed, and it's like. That's honestly the reason I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it to Omaha. They're gonna win this series against Notre Dame. Do I think they sweep? Are we picking games, or are we just gonna pick who wins? Like how many games it takes, or just the winner of the region?
No, how many games? I mean, I want to hear. Does it go all 3 games? Does it go to the if game, or do they sweep and move on? Or hell, does Notre Dame fucking pull the magic?
Notre Dame ain't pulling no magic. They better do some praying this week if they want to pull magic off. But I'm gonna take. I mean, like I said, dude, I think as much as they have got my nerves this last couple, with some of the antics they've pulled, and obviously that guy saying what he did on our little comments, obviously nothing bad, just a fan being a fan. Yeah. But as hard as it is for me to pick them and not, like I said, I'm rooting for them and against them at the same time. Like I want to see them get humble. I want to see them get humbled, but at the same time, and it is fun to watch. Like it's like if they don't make the Omaha, it's like well, it kind of loses a little bit of its flair because like they are such a fun team to watch play. But yeah, I'm a roll with Tennessee, and I think they get it done in 2 games, man. I think. I'm not saying they go out and just blow the doors off Notre Dame 2 games in a row, but I just don't see, man, Notre Dame coming in and they're not going to outpitch them. Probably not going to out-hit them. So it's in Knoxville, man. Like they get up 3-4-0, and a home run or 2 comes off of that 4-0. That place is rowdy, and then that atmosphere is going to be insane. A super regional week. I mean, like I said, they've already booked their trips to Omaha. They've already got their hotel rooms ready. So, they go ahead and make sure those reservations are ready to rock and roll because I think Tennessee gets it done. 2 games and they're Omaha bound.
DG, I hate to tell you this, brother. It's going 3 games, all right?
Okay.
It's going 3 games, all right? Notre Dame forces a 3rd game, but Tennessee goes to Omaha. Tennessee goes to Omaha. I don't know. Look, I think you got to hit the long ball with Tennessee. All right. And I know that's how Auburn beat them in the 1 game. They had to hit the home run, man. They had to hit the long ball. You got to hit the long ball with Tennessee, and you have to match that intensity, bro. Like you watch when Tennessee, like you could feel it the other night. What's his name? Which
one? They got so many.
Outfielder, center fielder. What's his name?
Drew Gilbert.
Yeah, Drew Gilbert. I mean, like you can feel when he's about to hit a nuke, bro. Like
yeah,
feel it, and like you have to match that to beat them. And I just don't know if Notre Dame can hit the long ball with them and match it, but I think Notre Dame finds a way because they pitch really well. I think they find a way to force a third game, but Tennessee moves on. Um, I don't think Notre Dame has enough to take them out. I just think Tennessee's too good, man. Their offense is too good, like you said. They can
Yeah.
beat you in so many ways. Their pitching staff is so good. If Notre Dame could hit the long ball a little bit more, and I think Notre Dame would have a better shot. But I think Notre Dame's pitching is good enough to force a third game. But I do like Tennessee. With that being said, we moved down to the bottom side of that little quad right there, and we got ECU and Texas. All right, Texas is going to be traveling. They're the 9 seed. They're going to be traveling to East Carolina. All right, they're the 8 seed. Big 8-9 matchup. ECU went to a deciding game in their regional with Coastal Carolina. It wasn't close. ECU just tore their ass up in that deciding game. And Texas, man, it was, in my opinion, it was an underwhelming regional. They had Air Force. I know Air Force had beat them earlier in the year and all that, but it was an underwhelming regional. It wasn't a contest, in my opinion. It wasn't it wasn't anything to boast about. And now I think they got a little tough task on their hands, bro. Like this ECU team, they're playing with a little swagger. The community is invested. I got a buddy who lives up there now, and he said that the entire community, the entire town is all about ECU baseball. And he said that place is going to be absolute bananas this weekend. He said that there's already people coming into town, bro, bringing camper trailers in. Like they're going to try to bring extra seating in and everything just to hold these folks, man, because he said they're bought in. They're bought in, and he said they're going to travel to Omaha if they get past Texas, bro. He said he just feels like these folks they're gonna travel to Omaha if they can get by Texas. So I'm gonna kick it to you. I'm gonna ask you, how do you think this 3-game set goes down, and who is gonna push either team to get to Omaha, in your opinion?
Yeah, man. So obviously, with East Carolina being in the conference they're in, we don't see them that much.
Yeah.
Unless you're obviously a fan until weekends like this. And man, like you said, they just play with so much swagger. They hit the ball, they make diving plays. Like their center fielder, man, his name's Bryson Worrell. If you saw him, he came to bat, his first at bat that I saw, he hit a triple.
Yeah.
He's a switch hitter, hit a triple, from the right side, down the right field line. And I didn't know he was a center fielder until the next inning, he made a diving catch, and I saw the same guy. This dude's built like a Greek god. Dude's absolutely yoked out of his mind. I think he hit 4 home runs this weekend with a triple. I mean, made 2 or 3 diving catches just yesterday. They play really good station to station baseball. They can hit the long ball, but also they get you on first. They're not afraid to hit and run. They're not afraid to bunt. They're not afraid to, guy gets second with less than 2 outs. They're not afraid to bunt him over. They're not afraid to, they do the little things right to win baseball games, but they also, on top of that, hit the long ball. They can
absolutely
hit bombs, and they got a couple guys with 10+ home runs. Like I said, the guy just said Bryson Worrell's got 18. And then their first baseman, Jackson Jenkins Cole's got 12. They can hit. They got the whatever. I'm not even sure what conference they in. The American Conference, or whatever. Yeah, so they got the American Conference Pitcher of the Year. His name's Carter Spivey. He threw yesterday's game. They had a cool little story about him. So apparently he didn't pitch a lot last year, and at the end of the season, he kind of was went and talked to the coach, just this is his 5th year, his COVID year or whatever, and he went to the coach hey, hey coach, do I have an opportunity to play here? Or, do I maybe need to look to transfer and play somewhere else around last season? And the coach was nah, man, you're gonna be a big part of our ball club, and dude's the freaking conference pitcher of the year. I mean, he pitched his ass off yesterday.
Yeah.
They do pitch. They pitch kind of. They remind me kind of like the Rays. Like they don't have any guys with more than 11, 12 starts. Like they have a lot of guys with a lot of appearances, but not a lot of starts. Like their second best ERA on the team, or one of their top ERAs, is a guy named CJ Mayhew. He's got 29 appearances, but only 11 of those are starts. So it looks like they got a like the Carter Spivey guy's leading them in innings pitched, but he's not a starter. He's only started 2 games. So like they do a lot of that bullpen. Like they come in through 3 or 4 innings, then we'll go to the next guy. So they have a good pitching staff, like you said. Your buddy said that place is going to be just absolutely electric.
Yeah.
But man, Texas is damn good too. Like Texas got possibly the best player in college baseball this year, Ivan Lindez, 400 batter, got 30 bombs. I mean, the dude's got 30 home runs and 90 RBIs in college baseball in 62 games. Like
That's unheard of.
There's guys in the pros that don't do that in 162 games. So it's like, I mean, they got a stat line. Like they really don't. Their lineup is not as deep, average wise as you would think. Like, I mean, 241 is their lowest out of all their starters, which obviously is, not great, but it's not fantastic. But they can hit the long ball as well. They have, like I said, he's got 30. They got another guy with 17 and do with 10, 14, 11. And they got a lot of guys that hit home runs. I think this might be one of the best matchups in Super Field, man. I think it's two really good teams. I think Texas, came out super hot and everybody was on their nuts. Oh, they're the greatest team ever, like blah blah. They kind of ran into Texas State that midweek, that 1 week, and struggled a little bit. And then it was kind of like they just kind of were up and down for the rest of the season. They kind of got hot again at the end. Obviously clinched the 9th overall seed and made easy work of the regional. And then obviously East Carolina, they were a really good ball club all year. Didn't see much of them because just don't follow them as closely because they're not a big conference. They're a super well known team unless you are an East Carolina fan really. I think again, like I said, this could be with baseball's so weird. Like, you can say it's the best series and it'd be a 2-game sweep. I mean, like you never know. But I'm gonna go and say it's gonna go 3 games. And I know I've been hearing this weekend. I was listening to a lot of when I was watching the East Carolina game. They played at St. Thomas Florida yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are talking about a lot about how like they're kind of like they're kind of like that team that every year we know they're going to make the tournament. They're going to be a national seed, but they can't quite get over that hump. They get the supers and then it's like they get blown out, or they're the top 15, 16 seed and they get swept in the regional. And it's like they just haven't quite been able to figure it out or get over that hump. But I think this year they finally get over the hump. They beat the Texas Longhorns in 3 games. Again, I think it's going to be a great series. I think both teams, Texas is going to travel well. They're a big time baseball program. Texas money's going to travel, obviously. You said East Carolina fans are already, bringing stuff in, hyping it up, getting crazy, ready for the getting ready for the tournament or getting ready for the weekend, bringing campers on a Monday or Tuesday already. So the atmosphere is going to be anything and everything you can ask for in a baseball game. And I think East Carolina can feed off that crowd and feed off that momentum of that crowd. And I think they get done in 3 games, man.
Love that, DG. I agree, man. I like East Carolina. I like East Carolina to get it done in 3 games. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I like East Carolina. A part of me wanted to switch that up and go to Texas real quick, but I believe in East Carolina. I think they're at home this weekend, and I watched them a little bit with Coastal, and I like what they do. Like you said, they play really good station to station baseball, and I think they got something for Texas, man. I think they can go toe to toe with Texas, and I like them to win it. And that means you got Tennessee and East Carolina. We both have those picks in there, and then you go down to the bottom half of that quad, that left side of that bracket, man, and you got Texas A&M and Louisville in the next matchup. DG, Texas A&M, the 5 seed, Louisville, the 12 seed. a little controversy, DG, in that Louisville, Michigan regional.
Yeah.
Guy from Louisville slides into second. He was hosed. They called him safe. They go to replay. You can see that he's hosed. It would have ended the inning. Michigan would have got out of it. They would have been ahead. And they end up calling him safe. Why do we even have instant replay if you're not going to use it correctly? I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you can tell me. I don't know. But Louisville comes up. They hit a 2-run bomb. They end up scoring 4 runs that inning. They beat Michigan 11-9. They move on to play Texas A&M. Louisville would be traveling to Bluebell Park. One of our subscribers on YouTube, Santiago, man, good luck to your Aggies. We got DG here to break it down for us. And DG, I want your pick between Texas A&M and Louisville. Who you got going to Omaha?
Yeah, man. That Louisville Michigan game was kind of crazy yesterday.
No doubt.
It was wild because it was 7-3, and I was running some errands, thinking the game was over because Michigan just didn't seem like they were, really there. It was like it was a weird vibe. Like the first couple of games when Louisville got up on them 7-3, it was kind of like Michigan just didn't seem like they were there. Like they didn't want to play. Like they were making stupid mistakes, couldn't throw strikes, like just the little things you can't have in a game 7 winner take all. They had that long rain delay, and all of a sudden, like they could hit the ball. It's like they remember how to play baseball. And then I look up and it's 9-7. They're winning, and then you guys text me and saying something about it, and then I see everybody going crazy on Twitter about the blown call at second base and how the guy was. I mean, he was out by 2 feet.
Oh God, he wasn't even close.
I wasn't close at all. He called him safe. The next dude comes up and just hits a nuke piece. And when like walking down the freaking first baseline, like this was hands up. It's like, well, hey, this game's over. I don't care what Michigan's got. That place is gonna be rocking for the next inning and a half. Like all the momentum in the world just flipped. So Louisville, I mean, like they were another team that we didn't really know much about. Didn't keep up with them a ton this season. So we both picked them obviously to win the regional just because we didn't know nothing else about it. As far as who else they had, I mean, we kind of knew Michigan was not a bad team. They kind of were hot at the right time.
They were.
And then we watched, what we saw. Like I said, I wasn't a huge believer in Texas A&M. I mean, I picked TCU to go in and beat them. I don't really know if it was more of probably a recency bias thing. I just seen Texas A&M play Florida and wasn't all that impressed with them. But after I watched them again, like their lineup is elite. We just they just had a bad game against us, and we happened to shut them down in one game. But they got a really good lineup, top to bottom. They are one of the teams that is one of the older teams in college baseball. They got a lot of transfers, a lot of transfer portal guys. I mean, obviously Schwarzenegger was a hell of a coach. I mean, you go take over a team that didn't even make the SEC baseball tournament last year, and you got them as the 5th overall seed. Obviously, you know what the hell you're doing. Like I said, that to me, this was going to be not only do I think Texas A&M is a better team after watching them and Louisville play this week. This is going to be another one where I think the environment is going to play a huge role. I think Texas A&M gets it done in 2 games, man. I really don't even know if Louisville puts up a fight, to be honest with you. Louisville can hit. I think they can, if the game's turned into slugfest, I think they can score with Texas A&M, but I don't know if Louisville's been in an environment like they're going to be in this weekend. So I'm going to take Texas A&M in 2 games, man, to get quick. And I'm not going to say super easy, but I wouldn't be shocked if both games are 8-2, 8-3 type ball games. So give me Texas A&M in 2 games.
DG, I don't know if you're reading my mind, man, but I agree 100%. And I'm right there with you. I like A&M. I was telling Santiago last night, man, that this A&M team, bro, they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
Auburn beat them out there at Bluebell Park earlier in the year, took 2 out of 3 from them, and ever since then, they didn't lose another SEC series, bro. They're a really good baseball team. They pitch well. They hit well. They can do it all, and they're really freaking good, man. And I just don't think Louisville's got the pitching to match up with A&M. Like they can hit, like we said, but from what I watched this weekend with Michigan and everything, man, that concerns me, and I like Texas
Yeah.
A&M. I like Texas A&M to handle business, and yeah, I'm gonna say 2 games. I'm gonna say 2 games. I'm gonna say A&M sweeps the bubbles, bro. The bubbles, the ball 6, ball 8, like that is electric, bro. Like I mean, I gotta get out there to watch a game. That is, I mean, it's sick. It's sick.
Yeah.
Um, so moving down, we are going to the very bottom of that quad, that bracket, that left side, and you got Virginia Tech and the Oklahoma Sooners, DG. The team that took down your Florida Gators, man, they will be traveling to Blacksburg, Virginia to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Who do you got in this one, and in how many games?
Oh man, this is going to be, I think, a really good series. I think both teams have really good offenses. I know I was obviously watching a lot of baseball this weekend, and um, shout out to ESPN. That squeeze play thing they got going is
Bro, that's so
maybe
sick.
maybe one of the best things ever. Like I wish there was something like that for college football. There in college, we used to have like 4 or 5 games on at a time,
For a
and
fact.
they just kind of randomly will pick a game to like go full screen and listen in, and it's like every single time it's like they pick the perfect moment to do it. And a lot of stuff they were talking about with Virginia Tech was how they are one of the most like athletic teams, that they have a really good lineup. But they also have just super athletic guys like in the field. Like they got guys that can make any play you need. They're going to put the ball. They're going to hit. Their pitching staff's not great. I want to say I can't remember the guy what his first name is, but remember Christian Hackenberg, the quarterback from Penn State a
Yeah,
few years back?
yeah.
His brother's their ace. His brother's their
Oh,
Friday night guy. I don't know what I think his name might Parker maybe, but anyways, he's their ace. Hackenberg's their ace. I mean, he's not like he's not a guaranteed win. He's not like
yeah.
hey, this guy's gonna come out and he's gonna shut shit down, and we're gonna win more than nothing. I mean, he's a damn good pitcher, obviously, but um, you, they're more known for their lineup and their team. They got like one of their guys, man. I think his last name is Gross, maybe Gavin Gross, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the 9th overall prospect for the draft this year. Stud, can just absolutely rake. And then obviously I watched Oklahoma 3 games this weekend, man. Put it on us on Saturday night, and then yesterday obviously, or Saturday Sunday we beat them, and then obviously yesterday damn good game. They got a sneaky good lineup too. They got some guys. Peyton Graham, the 2-hole, can hit. Their catcher Ben Crooks, he can smoke it too. They're kind of young. They have maybe they're 5-6 guy or 6-7 guy lineup, both freshmen. Really good team, man. They were fun to watch. They had some guys make some incredible. Like their center fielder made a couple really good plays.
Very good.
They hit the ball in crucial situations when needed. They showed. I think what's most impressive to me is they showed they could win on the road. So going to Virginia Tech, obviously, it's kind of disappointing to be honest with you. Like Florida's baseball environment's not as good as you would like it to be, especially considering how good Florida's been. In just baseball in general. I mean, to me, you would consider it like a blue blood of baseball, like a national powerhouse. They're consistently a top 15, top 25 team every year. For a long time, they were top 5 every year. Brand new baseball field, ballpark they just built a couple years back, top of the line place. And I mean, obviously, we live in Mobile. It's hot as freak here, and it's hot as freaking Gainesville. And they call it the swamp for a reason. So that they obviously keep people away a lot. I was watching the game yesterday, and they said it was like 89 was the hot temperature, but it felt like 101. Like, man, nobody wants to sit 101 degrees to. I don't care how big of a fan you are. That's miserable.
Yeah.
So like obviously the crowds aren't as big as they Florida would like. So what like Virginia, it wasn't like Oklahoma was having to really deal with an electric atmosphere the whole weekend. But still they went on the road with national top 16 seed, beat them in their own park, beat them in Game 7. Obviously they've shown, hey, we can win on the road, we can win in the big games, we can win a pressured field situation. Obviously, I didn't watch Virginia Tech a ton, just because obviously Oklahoma was in Far East Regional, so I watched a little bit more. But man, it's a couple times Virginia Tech popped on that squeeze play, they were smacking the ball all around the field, dude. I mean, every time they were triples, doubles, home runs. I mean, they were just raking. And that place was rocking. Um, I think this is gonna be a fantastic series. I think this will definitely go 3 games. Um, I'm gonna stick with the national seeds, man. I think Virginia Tech gets it done in 3 games.
Bro, do you know that seven of their 9 hitters are hitting over 300?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Their lineup's loaded.
Like seven of the 7 of their 9 hitters, bro, are hitting over 330.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's not like they're in some bad conference, man. Like the ACC
yeah,
had 3 of the top 10 seeds in the country. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think Miami was a little misseeded, but
yeah,
that's
we both called that one.
yeah. I mean that they were a little misseeded, but yeah, man. I mean, the ACC still I mean, they still send teams to Omaha left and right. I mean, they're a
Yeah.
really good baseball conference. And yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I like Virginia Tech. Um, how many games did you say?
I said 3.
Yeah, for sure. 3. I think Oklahoma definitely scratches one. Really good baseball team. Beat my Auburn Tigers in the very first game of the season out in Arlington, Texas. Really good ball team. Really, really good ball team, man. Scrappy bunch, man. Those Florida games were good, elite for college baseball. It was a really good regional down there. Virginia Tech
Yep.
handling Columbia, I believe it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was like their regional. I don't remember exactly who it was, but we talked about it last week. It wasn't a very,
Yeah, it was underwhelming. It was
yeah.
underwhelming. It wasn't something I was gonna flip on a Friday night and be like, hey, let's watch this right here.
Yeah.
But they handled business. They did what they were supposed to do. I like Virginia Tech in 3 games. I'm sticking with the national seeds over here on this left side. Now, this right side, it might get a little tricky. All right, DG. This first one, bro, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because I'm going to the top side of the bracket, man, with Stanford and UConn. And I watched UConn play Maryland in the regional. Bro, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. No disrespect. If you're a UConn fan, listen to this. No disrespect, but that Texas State and Stanford, bro, Stanford's lucky to be here. All right. I don't
Yeah.
know if you watched the ending of it last night. They're lucky. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. That was probably the most competitive.
We
As far,
called it.
yeah.
We
I mean,
called
Texas State was 3 out the way, man. They're up 3-1 in the bottom of the ninth, man.
it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, their closer was the guy who they started, and dude went 7 innings. Like he'd been a closer all year, and he just went out and just shut them down. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
big strikeout after big strikeout. I mean, you get in a tough situation, get a double play or get a fly ball or strike somebody out. I mean, dude was dealing. I mean, obviously, he got to a pitch count, and you're not going to throw a guy's arm out. So you believe up 3-1, you should be able to handle it. And then obviously, Stanford showed why they're a number 2 seed, man. Like, you can't ever
Yeah.
count something like that out. Like, their lineup's really damn good, too, man. We were talking about the other day. I mean, they got Brock Bowser's a stud. They got their right fielder. We didn't realize the other day, but he's from Mississippi.
Yeah.
And he's a stud. They got another guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. They got the defensive player of the year at shortstop. I mean, like they have a really good baseball team, man. They're pitching. Their ace didn't really have a good weekend. Like he kind of got shelled Saturday night, but they prove why they're number 2 seed. Like you're number 2 for a reason. Beat writer believed in you. You got there for a reason. Texas State, in my opinion, should have been hosting the regional anyways. I think they probably should have hosted over Georgia Southern.
That's a fact.
Texas State, they're one of those teams, man. Like it sucks that they're not still playing. Like obviously, I'm upset that Florida's not playing, but like Florida didn't have. To me, Florida didn't have as good of a season as Texas State did. Texas State's been good all season. Texas State, yeah, and like I'm gonna say they're underdog, but they're from the Sun Belt, so like they're a team that you don't hear about a lot. So they're fun to watch. Like, I mean, they were a damn good team, man. It's like,
Yeah.
and what's crazy is like obviously it just sometimes it does suck who you get matched up with and which regionals you get stuck in, but like Man, if they'd have been in that Maryland regional, they would have just dog walked the whole regional. Like,
Oh my God.
and instead,
Uh,
they get sent to the freaking number 2. I really don't understand how they do these regionals, man. Because like Notre Dame, everybody thought was going to be a host, and they got sent to the 16th seed. Okay, that makes sense. Oklahoma, everybody thought was going to be a host. They got sent to the 13th seed. Makes sense. Texas State, everybody thought they were going to be a host. Why the hell did they get sent to the number 2 team in the country regional? Like, I don't really understand how that works. I mean, they should have been in Maryland. They should have been in possibly Auburn. They could have been Auburn. I mean, like, obviously you might not like that because I think they could have maybe beat you out, but
that's a fact.
obviously we'll never know. We'll never know. But again, we both called it last week. That was our big upset pick. And 3 outs away. I mean, but Stanford's really good. Like I said, I wasn't, like you said a few minutes ago, UConn, not impressed. Stanford, give me Stanford in 2 games, man. I think Stanford makes easy, quick work of them. And they, roll on Omaha. So, I'm assuming that's what you're rolling with too.
Oh, 100%, bro. I think
Okay.
they might shut down UConn's baseball program. Okay. Like, I don't think this is going to be a competitive series at all, bro. Rizzo just hit one smooth out of Minnesota. If you see me looking over here to my right and
Well, dude,
everything,
I haven't been see it the whole time. Your thing's not on.
it's not
It says,
on.
it's on, but it says it's having like some kind of like technical difficulties. The video is not currently available due to low bandwidth or local computer conditions. So I don't see it the whole time.
Oh, weird. I don't know what's wrong with my computer, man. Like, it's been acting funny, like the StreamYard stuff. It is slow and all that. Like, I might have to go in there and delete some stuff, but clear up some storage or whatever. But man, Rizzo just hit an absolute bomb. You hear me? The Yankees are up
Judge,
8.
yeah, they're out 8-4, and Judge hit one earlier to the deepest part of
Ugh,
the field.
see Stanton's.
Nah,
Oh my God, bro! Stanton followed him right up after Judge hit his. Stanton hit his 450 feet up into the upper deck. Um, I mean, they're the best team in baseball. But getting back to the college side of it, um, yeah, I think Stanford absolutely embarrasses UConn, and UConn with the long flight all the way across the country, bro. The jet lag getting out there. They might as well just save their trip and save their time because this is going to be a skull fucking. I think it's gonna be bad. I think it's going to be really bad. Like, might as well just save the jet fuel because there's no need to waste it for this one. Now, the Chapel Hill Regional, North Carolina, UNC against Arkansas. Arkansas having to go back on the road this weekend, DG. They went to Stillwater. They upset Oklahoma State. And we, I picked Oklahoma State. Did you pick Oklahoma State?
yeah, I picked Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Okay. So Arkansas went into this tournament kind of like Auburn did. Okay. Arkansas went in. They were bleeding. They they were just rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Wasn't playing their best baseball. Lost 3 out of 4 to Alabama, and just you know they they wasn't playing like the Arkansas that we're accustomed to seeing. Right. Their pitching was just sporadic. I mean, they gave up like 18 runs one night to Alabama in their
Yeah.
3-game set. Like, it wasn't the Arkansas that we were used to seeing. Pitching wasn't there, hitting wasn't there. So obviously, we're like, hey, they're going to go in here to Stillwater, and there's no way they're coming out of this regional, right? Well, hey, proved us wrong, right? They went in there and they took care of business. They handled Oklahoma State. It went to a game 7, final deciding games. A really good atmosphere. The Oklahoma State loaded up the bases, and their freshman reliever, man. I think he's the lefty. What is his name? Damn, I can't remember his name, man. But he's a stud. Like, he come in against Auburn, man, and he was dealing. And he come in and he got out of it, and they looked really impressive, man. They looked really impressive. But I want to know, DG, all right, can Arkansas get to Omaha in Chapel Hill this weekend? Can they go on the road for 2 weekends in a row? And can they make it to Omaha? Can they beat this North Carolina team?
Yeah, I mean, they made a believer out of me, dude. I picked against them last week because I didn't think their offense was good enough to make a run. Just I thought they struggled too much this year, man. But they went in and they hung with one of the better offenses in college baseball, man. Like beat them. I mean, shoot, they beat them the first night, and then they had to get beat. They almost got two scoop, but like they, I mean, they hit the ball when they had to hit the ball. Trey Battles, their shortstop, I mean, had a phenomenal week. Their pitching showed up like the pitching's been fine all season. They just weren't scoring like we expected. But they showed up to Stillwater and hit the ball. North Carolina, they were good. I mean, they're kind of one of the teams that they kind of caught hot right here at the last part of the season. Got beat. Who beat them? VCU, I think, beat them Saturday night, and they had to come back and go to the loser bracket. Damn near almost lose to Georgia. Dude makes an incredible catch to rob a home run to save their season. He robs a home run against Georgia at the bottom of the ninth or top of the ninth to beat them, and then they come back and two scoop VCU, beat them pretty well both games. I think they scored like 5-6 runs yesterday in the first inning. I think this is going to be another really good series, and this is going to be North Carolina is one of those teams is kind of well known as a baseball school, and obviously basketball school. But like they're always pretty good at baseball. Obviously Arkansas is a damn good team. Like we know them, for being a really good baseball program. Should have probably won a national championship a couple years ago. I'm gonna give you a name to remember. I don't know how much you watched North Carolina this week, man, but they got a freshman named Vance Honeycutt. My dude's got 24 bombs and he's got 29 stolen bases. They're saying like he might be the first ever college baseball player that could possibly have like a 40 and a 30-40 season, like probably next year.
Okay.
Kid is an absolute stud. Center fielder. I think he's a center fielder. He plays outfield, I'm pretty sure. Can just straight up ball. And his what's crazy is like he's not even their highest batting average. They got a guy batting 365. Like he's the fifth highest batting average. But all weekend, man, that's all. Like every time I flip on a game on the squeeze play, if they popped up, Chris Burke or Mike Rooney were talking about Honeycutt and how good of a ball player he was and how he doesn't look like a guy that would hit 24 home runs. He's kind of like a tall, like wiry guy, but he's just got a lot of pop. There's obviously like they're draft guys and big time college baseball analysts. They were talking about how like he's got a projectable body and how good. I mean, this kid was a freak, dude. Like if you saw him, you're not gonna pick him as the guy that's gonna be a superstar, but he's a superstar. And then I think Arkansas's got a couple. I think like I said, Battles for Arkansas. All their shortstop is a stud, man. That grand slam he hit the other night against Oklahoma State to pretty much set the tone was probably one of the furthest baseball. I mean, like, we were all sitting there watching together, dude, and he hit that thing a country mile. I think this is going to be a hell of a series. North Carolina's going to obviously be packed out. Arkansas travels extremely well for baseball. Man, I'm gonna say 3 games for sure. Going 3 games. I don't know much about North Carolina's pitching. So I don't know if they have a staff that's going to come out and shut you down. But I mean, they have been hot. They're playing at home. But I think this is going to be my first, I guess you'd call it upset, first national seed or top seed to get beat out. I'm going to take Arkansas. I think they've got hot at the right time, or they, after last week, they've shown they can get hot at the right time. They've been there. They've done that. They know what it takes to get to Omaha. Van Horn, obviously, a hell of a coach. He's been to Omaha multiple times. North Carolina's a damn good team too. I think North Carolina's going to be a team that we're going to be seeing a lot of for the next couple of years. I think they're pretty young. But give me Arkansas in 3 games. And I think this could. I mean, I said probably 3 times now, but I think this could be one of our best here. I think this might be one of the best super regional weekends we've had in a long time. I mean, if you look, Tennessee, Notre Dame could have been national seed. ECU,
Yeah.
Texas, 8-9. Texas A&M, Louisville, 5-12. Virginia Tech, Oklahoma, 4 and could have been a host. Stanford,
Yep.
obviously, UConn's kind of a random team. North Carolina, Arkansas, like 2 damn good teams. So give me Arkansas in 3 games, but it's going to be a hell of a series.
Oh, I just got your text, bro. My fault.
Oh, you're good.
But now we've only got.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Yeah, we've only got 2 more. So, yeah. Look, I don't know if we're reading each other, but I'm going with this. Is my first upset, also, bro. And I think this might be the best 3-game set. Yes, I think it's going 3. I like Arkansas to win it in 3 games on the road. Arkansas is hot. I like them. They're rolling. They're on fire. Van Horn, their coach, man, he's been there. He's just when he's got a team like this, they got it going, and I don't know if North Carolina can trip them up, bro. I like Arkansas just like they just turned it on last weekend, and them going to a place like Oklahoma State and Stillwater and beating a quality team like that, it travels, bro. It travels, and I think they're playing well at the right time, kind of like Auburn with getting beat out at the SEC tournament, going 0-2, getting that rest. Getting to rest some arms and just getting away from baseball for a week. And I like this Arkansas team, and I like them to go to Omaha, man. And
Yeah,
finishing this thing out, man, we're going to end up with this last quad. We're going to go to Corvallis, Oregon. You got 2 more supers right here. We're going to start with Corvallis, Oregon, the Oregon State Super Regional. You got Oregon State and the Auburn Tigers. DG, I want to hear who you got.
Man. I think this could be another. I mean, again, another just fantastic series. I mean, number 14 versus number 3. Exactly what you want. I mean, you want the top seeds to get to the Super Regional because you project them as the better team. Auburn obviously had a fantastic week. Go in 3 games, 51 runs. That's unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State damn near almost lost to New Mexico State on Saturday night or Friday night. New Mexico State just ran out of pitchers.
Yeah.
I mean, dude threw 135 pitches, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And they ended up beating them in extras, and they obviously killed San Diego, and then almost ended up getting 2 scooped by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt beat them 8-1 and almost beat them yesterday. And we were both kind of low on Vanderbilt last week, anyways. I think Oregon State has the pitching. I think Oregon State has the environment. I think the fact Auburn has to travel all the way across the country, they're going to be playing at what they're normally used to at 9 o'clock at night. It's going to be 6 o'clock. Which I don't know when they're traveling. I know they don't play till Saturday, so I'm sure they'll probably leave maybe Thursday to get there. Try to get their legs under them, get their time right. Give me Auburn in 3 games.
Wow. Love that. Love that. DG, I'm going to rock your world right here. Auburn sweeps, bro. All right. Auburn sweeps. All right. They go up to Corvallis and they sweep Oregon State. I'm calling it right now. They're beating them in 2 games. All right. They're beating them in 2 games. Everybody's going to be like, oh, Blake's a homer. He's an Auburn homer. No, they're going to sweep Oregon State. Okay. They're going to sweep them in 2 games. All right. Because I believe you're gonna come out Friday night. I'm not sure how Auburn's going to do this rotation, man, because they did it. It was Hayden Mullins on Friday night, and then Joseph Gonzalez on Saturdays, and then on Sunday, or excuse me, it was Hayden Mullins on Friday night, Trace Bright on Saturdays, Joseph Gonzalez on Sundays. But now that we're in this, win or go home 3-game set against UCLA, man. They threw Mason Barnett. Hayden Mullins went down with Tommy John, and Mason Barnett stepped in as the Friday guy. So in the regional, they went with Trace Bright out the gate against Southeastern Louisiana. He got the win. Then they come back against Florida State with the must win right there, in my opinion. And that was, they come with Joseph Gonzalez. And then they bounce back with Mason Barnett against UCLA. And so I'm not sure who they're going to run out that first game. I don't know. But the way Auburn's playing right now, the way they're swinging it, I think they found something with the lineup with Cole Foster hitting in the 2-hole. He looks really, really fucking comfortable, man. Like I don't want to say it on the pod, on the air, but he looks comfortable in that 2-hole. Sonny D back in the 3-hole. They just found something, man, and that lineup is hitting the baseball. And I watched Oregon State. I know they can pitch, man, but DG, they should have lost to New Mexico State, man. They should have lost, all right? They should have lost, and Vandy took them to a deciding game. Auburn handled Vandy. They took 2 out of 3 from Vandy. I know they were at home, but they took 2 out of 3 from Vandy, and I look out at Oregon State, man, and Oregon State's in a high-scoring Pac-12 tournament, and then they had the 25-22 game with UCLA. I don't know, man. I like Auburn. I like Auburn to sweep. I think Butch Thompson saying what he said and him saying that it's natty or bust, I think Auburn's fired up. I like Auburn, and I'm taking them in a sweep. Get back to Auburn, celebrate. Auburn's going to Omaha. And then you drop down in this last super regional matchup in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. How crazy is this, DG? How crazy is this? Ole Miss is traveling to Hattiesburg. That's right. It's not Southern Miss traveling to Oxford, all right, how we usually would think it would be, right? No, it's the other way around, all right? Ole Miss, get your ass down here to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, all right? Get on down here. You're playing the new daddy of the state of Mississippi, okay? The Southern Miss Golden Eagles. DG, who you like in this super regional matchup? The last one of the night, DG. Give me something.
All right, man. So last week when we were picking these regionals, I don't remember who you picked in the core regional, but I told you when I made my pick, I took Ole Miss and I said, hey, I think Ole Miss wins. I think Ole Miss is a really, really good baseball team that just happened to be in a loaded SEC this year, being a loaded SEC West. They played all the really good teams in consecutive weeks. But you don't get to the college baseball rankings are weird, man. You don't get to number 1 in the country for no reason. Like they don't just stick you up there just because you've won a couple games. Like you beat the right teams, you've done the right stuff. Like baseball is definitely like college football. Obviously, like if you beat a top 5 team and you're number 11, you're going to jump up 7, 8 spots. You could go in and sweep in college baseball, 23rd ranked team, and you'd be the number 15 team, and you don't move at all. Like if you don't play well, like maybe the 23rd team just played terrible and you beat them 1-0 3 days in a row. Like it's really an eye test. Things like they had earned the right to be the number 1 team for a very 4 or 5 week span. I just had a feeling. Like I said, neither one of us are high on Miami being a really being a 6th overall seed in the tournament, anyways. But I was super high on Ole Miss going into the tournament. They proved me right. They went down 3 games. Tim Elko, man, I swear to God, he's been in college for 20 years, but he showed up, hit 3 home runs yesterday in their clinching game. And they even had a little weird rain delay. Like they didn't even play all day Friday, and they didn't play again late until Saturday afternoon. It's like yesterday was only their 3rd game, but it was on Monday because they were so far behind.
Yeah.
So obviously, Ole Miss went in and did their job. They went to Coral Gables. Coral Gables is Miami's known as a baseball school, baseball program that's big. The place was probably packed out. So the Miss, on the other hand, I picked against them. Not really against them. I remember I took LSU as my super team or whatever. So I kind of felt obligated to pick LSU. But I told you that I believe Southern Miss is a damn good team. Southern Miss is 1-2 punch with Tanner Hall, and I still can't remember the other guy's name, but they're elite. I mean, they have probably possibly the best rotation left in the tournament outside of maybe Tennessee.
Yeah.
He went and shut LSU down Saturday night, and then obviously LSU had 2 back-to-back games where they went nuts in the ninth inning and came back and won. But then Southern Miss comes back through. 2 scoops LSU gets them up, gets them out. A lot of people. My biggest thing was talking about last week, man. LSU's going to bring a crowd. Well, they brought a crowd, and Southern Miss wasn't phased. Ole Miss is going to bring a crowd. The amount of money that if I wasn't getting married a couple months and not buying all my junk from my house, my furniture, and all that, the money I would pay to go to this super regional for 2 teams that I give 2 shits about just to be a part of it, man. Like yesterday, I don't know if you saw when Southern Miss won, their dudes were really jumping the outfield fence to celebrate with the crowd.
Yeah.
That's next week's going to be that on steroids. Like if Southern Miss wins that regional or super regional, dude, they might storm the field at a baseball game. Like it's going to be absolutely bonkers in that place. Ole Miss is obviously going to pack it out as well. It's probably going to be 50-50, honestly. Like, because obviously you got people that live in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, who are Ole Miss grads. Like I have one of my best friend's moms went to Southern Miss for undergrad, went to Ole Miss for grad school.
Oh wow!
So she's both.
Oh wow!
So it's like, what I'm saying? Like there's going to be a lot of that. Like you have people who live in Oxford who went to Southern Miss. Like the place is going to be 50-50 packed out, both teams. Man, I think I know last week I went on a limb. I took Ole Miss to beat the 6 seed when everyone else was picking them not to even, saying they shouldn't even been in the tournament. I went out on a limb and took them to win the regional. I think their magical run comes to an end. I think Southern Miss is going to feed off the energy of the crowd. I think they're pitching, like I said, is second in the country behind Tennessee, maybe Stanford. So I'm going to go with another shocker. Obviously I picked Ole Miss to be shocking and get here. I'm going to take, and obviously maybe, after watching Ole Miss, this might be a wild pick. I'll take Southern Miss in a 2-game sweep. I think those games are 2-game sweep. I think 2 games, 2 really competitive games. Definitely going to be ones you want to tune into because every home run, every strikeout, there's going to be shit talking, pointing the crowd, hyping up the crowd. Place is going to be rocking. But yeah, man, this is the time of year where pitching matters the most. I think Southern Miss has gotten the 2 best pitchers in the regional, or in the super. So give me Southern Miss in game 1. Give me Southern Miss in game 2. I think they sweep Ole Miss and they advance to the Omaha 8, and they are our final team to make it. And then based off of our picks, we got all top 16 seeds making it except for 1. Well, obviously 2 because Oregon State gets beat out, but yeah. But give me Southern Miss in 2 games, man.
I like Southern Miss in 3 games. I think Ole Miss gets 1. I think Ole Miss squeaks one out. They're kind of riding that Cinderella because, bro, we always have that team every year that kind of sneaks in, and Ole Miss was like the last team in the tournament and everything. Like on what was it, that Monday morning? Like they literally had Ole Miss as the 64th team in the bracket. Like,
yeah.
They didn't know that they were getting in, and they squeak in, and now they're just kind of right. Look at Nestor's mustache, bro. What a stud. But they sneak in, and they go down to Coral Gables. They handle business. They're on a magic ferry ride. Like, it's just the fairy tale comes to an end in a deciding 3rd game in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And Hattiesburg, Mississippi is the new daddy of the state, okay? Even though Mississippi State won the Natty last year, all right, they've fallen off a cliff, DG. They're nowhere to be found. They can't even make the postseason anymore, baby, all right? They're done. All right? There's a new daddy in town, all right? And it's the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss. going on to the College World Series and getting absolutely spanked by the Auburn Tigers. All right, but hey, we'll get into that. All right, we'll get into it. But that's our picks. I had a blast doing it. I enjoyed it. I love going over all of this. I gotta figure my computer out, man. Something's up with my computer, and I don't like it. Can you still not see me?
Yeah, it just says your name.
Dude, that's so wild. Like, I don't get that. Like, I see my internet. I might have to reset my router because my it's being whacked. But like, I'm streaming the Yankees game right now, and they're up 10-4. By the way, for everybody who's wondering, they're the best team in baseball. But I mean, it's working fine. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm playing that, and then I don't know. But man, I absolutely enjoyed it, DG. It's getting late. I gotta go get some shut eye.
Hey, real quick before we end this pod.
Yeah, good.
Last week we talked about a little hockey. You asked me who I thought was going to win the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers. I told you it would not shock me at all if it went 4 games, or possibly 5 at the most. And the Colorado Avalanche did their thing last night. They swept the Edmonton Oilers in not a particularly close series. Last night was the only game. It was, I mean, game 1, I guess you could say it was close to 8-6, but I mean, like, it wasn't a close series at all. Colorado Avalanche are just a wagon. They're rolling right now. I don't know if you watched, but the boys, the New York Rangers just got beat.
Yeah.
That series is now tied 2-2. Hate to break it to you, but I would venture to say that the New York Rangers will not win another game. And that series will go 6, and the Lightning will win the next 2. And then we're going to have a Lightning and a Colorado Avalanche matchup, which I predicted from the get-go. I had a little bracket game with some buddies of mine. Picked the Avalanche in the Lightning to make it to the Stanley Cup, and I took the Avalanche. And yet again, 5 games. I think the Avalanche are just that good, man. I know that's nothing to do with what we talked about tonight, but I just wanted to throw that there real quick because you'd asked me last week what I thought about it, and as a sports fan, man, like, you can't ask for better times right now, dude. We got super regionals for college baseball. We got the College World Series, softball championship series coming up. We got freaking NBA finals going on. Even if you're not a big NBA fan, like, it's still the finals. And you got the freaking Stanley Cup playoffs, in the conference championships and the Stanley Cup finals start next week. So, man, like, we talk about, oh, man, I can't wait for college football, man, but we got to enjoy what we got right now. Like, enjoy these little playoff runs, all this good stuff, and then we'll start bitching and moaning about college football getting here once we get into the end of June, early July, when we still got the last month of just absolutely nothing but meaningless MLB baseball in July. And then come August, then we got, then the fun starts, baby. Then we start talking about a little fall practice. Everybody's back on campus, and that's when we start getting rowdy on this podcast, baby.
Love it, man. I can't wait. DG, it's been a fun one, man, and I know we'll talk tomorrow about some sports. I know, like you said, Golden State and Boston playing tomorrow night, man. Can't wait for it. And that'll wrap this one up, man. I enjoyed it, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, sir.
All right, brother.
All right, man.